Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're tackling a really powerful idea. It's about building your daily life so it's, well, fulfilling enough that you don't constantly feel like you need that vacation escape.
Yeah. It challenges that whole work to live thing where living only happens outside of work.
Exactly. So our source material kind of boils down to three core concepts, right?
That's right. We've got build a life you don't need a vacation from, which is pretty direct.
Then there's love your grind.
And finally, design your life or live someone else's plan. Quite provocative, all three.
Okay, so our mission here is really to, get past the slogans and see what these actually mean in practice. How can they help create a more satisfying everyday?
Well, that first one, build a life you don't need a vacation from, it sort of flips the script. It suggests the daily grind itself. Maybe that should be the source of fulfillment, not just the thing you tolerate between holidays.
Yeah, okay, but love your grind, that sounds, well, kind of tough sometimes, doesn't it? Like, how realistic is that?
I think the key is it doesn't necessarily mean loving every single minute or every task. That's probably not feasible for most.
Right. So maybe it's more about finding appreciation in the process. Like if your job involves solving problems, maybe you focus on the satisfaction of, cracking that tough nut.
Exactly. It's about shifting your mindset towards engagement. Find something you're getting better at or a small contribution that actually feels meaningful to you.
Even in a monotonous role.
Yeah, even then, connecting small actions to a bigger picture, even if it's just your own personal growth, that can really change how it feels. And honestly, a life with regular small satisfactions, that's probably way more rewarding long term than just chasing those vacation highs.
Okay, that makes sense. And then there's design your life or live someone else's plan. That one really puts the onus on you, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. It forces you to ask, how much of your current life feels like your choice?
Versus just drifting along.
Yeah, or following a path someone else laid out, or just reacting to whatever comes your way. Life design sounds grand, but it can start small.
Like what? Not a total overhaul.
No, definitely not. It could be as simple as deciding, okay, first 15 minutes of my morning are for this activity that I enjoy, or learning to say no to things that consistently drain your energy. Setting conscious boundaries.
So it's about intentionality.
Precisely. Are you actively steering, even in small ways? Or are you just a passenger?
And here's where it gets interesting, I think. If you are actively creating a daily life, you find more engaging, or at least less draining. What does that do to the vacation pressure?
Well, the desperate need probably lessens, right? It's not that you'd never want to break again.
No, of course not.
But maybe they become something different, like true enhancements, explorations, novelty, rather than just, essential recovery time.
Like enjoying dessert after a good meal, not just eating sugar because you're starving.
That's a great analogy, actually, yes. The breaks become more enjoyable because you're not relying on them for your baseline happiness or survival.
Okay, so wrapping this up for the listener,
Yeah.
what's the practical step here? It sounds like an invitation to, well, look closely at your own routine.
Yeah, take an honest look. What parts feel like a drag? What feels like something you're just enduring?
Amen.
Then identify just one small thing, a tiny change. Maybe it's how you approach one specific task. Maybe it's carving out 10 minutes for something positive. Could that inject just a little more purpose, a bit more enjoyment?
It's not aiming for nonstop bliss then.
Definitely not. That's unrealistic. It's about fostering a sense of agency, finding engagement in the ordinary stuff. Fulfillment isn't just for holidays. It can be cultivated day by day.
So the main takeaway here is really proactive.
Yeah.
This source is pushing us to build satisfaction into our lives, not just wait for escape hatches.
Exactly. Emphasizing those intrinsic rewards.
So here's a final thought to leave with everyone. Think about one specific part of your daily life right now. Something that makes you think, ugh, I need a vacation from this.
Okay.
What's one tiny, tiny adjustment you could realistically make? Not to magically love it, maybe, but just to shift that feeling even slightly towards something you could engage with a bit more, something to find maybe a sliver of interest in.
That's the challenge. Find that small shift.